All right, sir. So we can start the event now.
Okay.
Yes. A very good evening to one and all present here. I am Samya Gupta from my startup Yatra. I'll be the host for today's event. Every Saturday, we have the event Coffee Break Saturday to get to know the amazing entrepreneurs who are making leaps in innovation. This Saturday, we have another such entrepreneur, Mr. Subhendu S Satpathy, who has 14 years of corporate experience in a customer facing technical profile with pan India coverage in a market segment from automotive to consumer IoT. He also founded the MokkoMotto Electronics Pvt Ltd, which is primarily into designing, developing, and manufacturing Gallium Nitride Multipurpose USB Fast Charging Power Adapters. So it's a very innovative lead. So could you please tell us something more about your project?
Okay. Let me just tell you, we are designing some power adapters which are multi-purpose power adapters. Now, these are power adapters which can charge your laptop, your phone, your tablet, and a wearable all at the same time. And those are power adapters which is high in the wattage, like 65 watt, 100 watt, and it's half the size of your credit card. If I have to show you one adapter, I have it in under testing. So this is the size of the adapter, and if I have to show it in terms of the card, this is how it looks like. So it's this can charge a laptop. So it's just half the size of your credit card, goes into your pocket very well. And this is only possible with this new technology called gallium nitride. So the gallium nitride is a special kind of a device or a MOSFET, I would say. If people are from electronics background, they would know what is a MOSFET is. It's a switching device. And here the MOSFET over here is made out of not silicon, but gallium nitride. So this is the MOSFET I'm talking about. I cannot touch it because a lot of charge inside it. It was under testing. So that's how it is. And we are revolutionizing a very commoditized product with a new technology and taking out for the consumer. And we see that this kind of market is India is picking up the consumer electronic market, and the only essential gadget which would become common to all the electronics is a charger. So we want to get new technology in a very existing product, and make it easy, life easy for people to not to carry so many chargers, but at least one charger which can charge everything.
So sir, it's a very innovative idea. How did you even get this inspiration to introduce such a product?
Okay, so during my corporate days, I was working on those kind of a charger for multinational companies. I mean, I was working for a company called Cypress Semiconductors, and they had this technology patented with them. And I was one of the application engineers, a senior application engineer who used to support our customers in back in the US and Taiwan. There are a lot of customers who work on such kind of chargers. We were doing that, and when I saw that such kind of things can be done abroad, overseas, why can't we do it in India? And that's how my idea came, and that's how I always had the inclination to do something for my own country and own city, own state. And that's how I left my job and I got all my skills into action.
So sir, this MokkoMotto is a very unique name. So what is the idea behind this?
Okay, well, I mean, this is just a name. I was inspired from a Japanese uh, pearl making company which is called MokkoMotto, and they only make pearls and pearl jewelries for for the ladies. So when I was in my days in Tokyo, I stayed there for a pretty long time, and I couldn't afford that jewelry. So then I used to see. I found out a lot of people used to say that this MokkoMotto is very much in Japan, and you don't see it everywhere outside the world anywhere. So it's very much in Japan, and they were pretty famous. Now that MokkoMotto is known all across the globe, but earlier it was not. So I was quite fascinated that the fact that they gave all their importance into the product designing and their own indigenous product. that maybe they did not want to dilute it or make it a very commercial thing. And yeah, so that was one of my inspiration. MokkoMotto came as an basically now in Oriya, in our native language, we say mom motto. Mom motto means my motto of life. And so MokkoMotto, I asked two, three people, how does MokkoMotto go? They said, no, this is not a consumer brand. You need to do something more. Then it came up MokkoMotto. Yeah.
Really nice, sir. So, it was a great transition having 15 years of experience in the corporate sector and then into an entrepreneur. So, sir, did you face any difficulties with introducing yourself into the market?
So in corporate, as I told you, I was into customer facing job, and that used to make me travel a lot. So on a monthly basis, I used to be maybe at around 15-20 days outside. I used to have back-to-back travels, and hardly I used to stay at home. I kind of was, and then during the pandemic, my travel stopped, and that was the very life-changing event, which I think every living being in this world has faced, and I was, no exception. So I was locked down at home, and I used to take meetings from home, which was not my way of doing a job. Then I took up a call that I think I have to, that the time has come that I have to switch over to do something of my own. Though I managed two things at the same time. I used to work for my company, as well as I had on the background, I had my inception of the company already done in Bangalore. But I couldn't, sustain for a longer time because I cannot be employed somewhere and then side by side I can do a business. That does my employment agreement does not allow me. So to be on the fair side, then I had to switch off. And when I switched off, the first thing an entrepreneur does after coming out of a job which is much more comfortable, you have money in your pocket, and your life is sorted, everything of that sort, to a life which does not have any revenue. You are having limited cash with you. That's all your savings you have. You have a family to look after. So the first thing I said is changing over the place. So I shifted from Bangalore to Bhubaneswar. Was a lot of paradigm shift in my life. The way I used to think, the way I used to spend, everything changed. A lot of my friends in Bhubaneswar also came back from other cities to settle down, and I felt nice about it. I said, yeah, I have an ecosystem which can actually help me, in moral support. That was one of the biggest factors of my coming to Bhubaneswar. And yes, I mean, with your with this kind of a comfortable life, and you come to a very restricted environment, yes, it is all about, see, it is, I would not say it is a challenge, but if you think you have you if you are doing it from your heart, then nothing looks like a challenge to you. It is, you should enjoy, it's like it's like do something, kids do something, for the first time, when they start enjoying, for them it does not look like a challenge, and they sometimes underestimate the risk they have from those things. And similarly, I mean, until unless you take risk, I don't think you can prove yourself. And until unless we were exposed to the virus, we never thought that we could beat it, or we can have some kind of a support system which can resist us from the virus. So it's all about how you take your environment and expose yourself to the environment. Yeah.
Well, sir, it's very great to hear all this. Sir, I see that you're also known as the Hustler. So,
Oh,
sir, why is that title so?
why is yeah, it's a good question. I nowhere write that I'm a CEO or a founder. I always write I'm a hustler. This is during my initial days of entrepreneurship, when I just left my corporate and wanted to start of entrepreneurship. The first thing is you need a mentor. It's very important. Okay, my mentor was John Teal. He's in Texas, and he is a veteran in electronic industry, and then he has its own organization which is called the hardware design, the hardware design, where they take a lot of startup in hardware community and they try to train them, on how to go about the complete startup journey or making a product. So John always told me that there are three people who need to do a startup: a hustler, a maker, and a hacker. So a hustler is someone who can do everything. Like he takes care of the finance, he takes care of marketing, he takes care of designing the product, he takes care of jhadi pocha of your, of the office, and then getting the tea done for everyone. So he's the hustler. The second one is a maker. Now the maker is someone who makes the product, you know, making the design or making of the product. Third one is a hacker. Now, hacker is someone who can hack the software or hack deals. So now we are three people, three directors of the company. So I am the hustler, my maker is in Bangalore, and the hacker sits in Calcutta. So these are the three people, and we don't call ourselves as director of technology or director or CEO or CTO, nothing. Hustler, maker, and hacker.
Well, sir, it's a very nice concept that we came to know about. So, sir, the pandemic has changed everybody's life, even you said. So, sir, how do you think your venture would have turned out if the pandemic had not occurred? Like, what would be different?
Okay, what would have been different? First thing is,
Yes,
the only
sir.
difference is the pandemic would have not happened. I would have not come out of the corporate. I would have still, settled in the corporate. It is because of the pandemic that my thinking towards my inner calling changed. So I got to know what's my, goal of life, not sitting at home and taking calls. That was not my goal of life. So that's one thing. I took risk. When it is sitting at home, why work for a company? Why not for oneself? So that one. Pandemic had two extremes. One, people, we lost a lot of people, um, and then may God bless their souls. But on the other hand, it did good to me. Really, really good to me to know, on how, we can, make things possible in India, and none of those kind of a technology anyone is working as of now in India. So, building the ecosystem around making a product, it happened in the pandemic, and pandemic also helped people to look at a different angle. Had the pandemic not been there, I would have been looked upon. I would have, the MokkoMotto would not be existing, or even if it would have been existing, no one would have definitely care. Because yeah, this is one of the many guys who will come and go. But pandemic happened, people try to give little details, minute details to every damn thing in life, and that's how I think we also got a little bit of, you know sight from the industry, as well as building the ecosystem, because people were ready to work with emerging companies, which was not earlier there. Because bigger companies were definitely going bigger. They had their crisis, but there are people who would need, money to be coming in, the business should run, otherwise how will. So people started looking at smaller companies who can give them quick business. So that's what we were one of them. And yeah, and I think pandemic happened, is a pretty good change in the society, what pandemic brought. Yeah.
So, sir, this gallium nitride is a very essential component in your product. So, sir, could you please tell us something about this gallium nitride?
Okay, so it is one of the many essential components of our product, not the only essential thing. Other than gallium nitride, we have a patent technology which actually detects what load has been connected to our charger. So if you connect a laptop, the charger detects that it's a laptop, and it gives out 45 watt. If instead of a laptop you connect a phone, it will detect that it is a phone, and it will only give 20 watts. So your phone or your laptop is never overcharged. First thing. Second thing is, this kind of a charger does not get heated up. If you see, you would leave your charger overnight charging your phone, and then in the morning you touch the charger, it's pretty hot. Right, okay, so that is something that's called the it is not efficient, because you are taking a lot of energy and dispersing is in terms of heat. This kind of a charger is pretty cool. Even if you put this overcharging for around 5 to 6 hours also, you will not see that hotness in your hand. So when you touch it, it is pretty good. You can put it in your pocket also. Other chargers you can't even put in your pocket until it's cooled down first thing, and it is highly efficient. We are getting efficiency of around 95%, and people are stunned that how are you getting this 95% efficiency without even dispensing out heat. So yeah, so maybe, I mean, gallium nitride is earlier the chips, the microchips were made out of silicon. Now gallium nitride is the upcoming technology for power electronics. Basically, anything to do with power. Gallium nitride is the biggest technology which is coming in because of the small advantages. It also gives you intelligence. The system gets intelligent, and and it makes the system very small. That's the main advantage of the USB, that it makes half the size of your credit card. We made a charger of around it's like 65 watt, and it's 4 centimeter by 4 centimeter. I also have a charger which is 100 watt, which can charge 2 laptops, and it is 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter. Miniature chargers are because of this gallium nitride technology. Yeah.
Yes, sir. We are living in the future, sir. Okay, sir. So, like you have spoken about the advantages of gallium nitride. So, sir, is there any disadvantages or any harmful effects to the environment because of this gallium nitride?
No, I there is absolutely. I mean, they are just chips, right? They are just chips, and chips do not have contain any plastics or any material of that sort, that it will be, it will not be recyclable or something of that sort. It is very environmental friendly. The only thing which is not environmental friendly is the plastic. Now, the
Yes.
plastic comes as an enclosure to those chargers, and we have a very unique way of picking up our plastic from recyclable materials, and that currently we are 3D printing it. So maybe in a week's time or 2 weeks time, we will have the enclosure ready with recyclable plastic. So these are the plastics which we have got from waste plastics, and we have made our charger with that. So that is one of the factors of being environmental friendly chargers, because you would know European Union has banned chargers to be sold along with laptops and phones. Now, if you go to a Reliance digital showroom and you buy an Apple product or a Samsung product, you don't get a
We don't
charger.
get the charges,
You don't
correct?
get a charger. You have to buy a charger separately. This is because 10,000 tons of waste, e-waste, has been generated because of the charger globally, and it's a very alarming. It is increasing at a very alarming rate, and they want to cut down on this. So that's why they stopped giving charges, and plus they also generalized the connectors through which you can charge your phone or a laptop, which is Type C now, and you don't get connectors like this anymore. Those are the connectors which you used to get for laptop. So these connectors are going to stop, and what is coming to be as a Type C for this thing. So generalizing the charger, so one charger can charge everything, so that you don't have to buy a lot of chargers. So basically, it is the plastics which make the environmental hazard. The electronic part of it does make, but not as much as plastics do.
So, sir, as you said that the chargers literally have a huge harmful effect in our environment, which is why people are now stopping the use of chargers. I mean, they're not producing it anymore. So, with the introduction of the new technologies and with the rise in competition, so what is your take in the competitiveness of this business?
Okay. What is our take in the competitiveness of this business is we are working in a very niche market. Let me tell you. When you see that this is a very cluttered market when you talk about only chargers. But when you talk about chargers for high wattage, for laptops, for phones and wearable all at the same time, Absolutely, there's no competition because this needs a lot of engineering skills to go for higher wattage. Now, all the chargers you find on Amazon would be 30 watt, 20 watt, 18 watt, 12 watt, all that. But you will not find a charger which is beyond 50 watt, 60, 65, 100, 75, none of that. And this is an upcoming field, and I think a lot of people will opt for high wattage chargers and miniature chargers. So currently we are playing in a very niche market, and we see a huge potential because India is one of the developing countries um, in electronics, and the biggest importer of electronics after China is India. And if so many electronics have been consumed in our country, then you think about how, it has a very good opportunity to capitalize on this, just taking out a charger. But it all depends on how you position those chargers. It's pretty important. We cannot be selling those chargers to everyone, but we have to really sell those chargers to people who carry those gadgets. He has, multi gadget profile kind of a person is our customer. I cannot be go sell it in a shop nearby that you sell my charger. Do not be selling. He cannot sell it. So market placement is a key, and that's where your market product fit comes into the picture. So we talk about product and market fit. It all depends on where you place your market. So social media plays a very important role here in order to educate people and make them aware that what is your problem going on now and what is the solution to this problem. So it is always, chargers have gone to the subconscious mind of people. That's how you used to carry so many chargers. They said, what is there in me? Why should I carry one charger and why should I pay so much amount to buy a charger? So you have to tell them that, boss, listen, you are carrying so many chargers. I'm giving you one charger. And this has so many harmful effects. It has gone to their subconscious mind, and they are so habitual of carrying so many charges they don't even understand. So you have to tell them, which is okay. Which is okay. When you educate a customer, it is okay. And when you educate a customer, you build trust on them. And the next time, it is very easy sailing for you. The next time you come out with a charger, it just goes by word of mouth. So the initial way you market your product is very important. You have to do a lot of free education. Huh?
Yes, sir. True that, sir. So you were absolutely correct that the technologies in China is more. So this is the only reason, that is population. Because of the population, even in India, the technology usage in India is also the same. So, sir,
Hmm.
as you spoke about the positioning of the product, so I would like to know, how did you launch your product? Like when you launched it during the COVID, so how did you launch it first, and what were the marketing strategies that you had adopted?
Oh, well, we first of all, we have not launched our product. We have incorporated our company during the pandemic, which is 2020. Our product is right now in pre-production stage. We are validating our product. It is going for certification. A lot of certification is required for electronic product to come to the market. So we are going ahead with the certification now. And once the certification is done, we will have to have our uh, plan of marketing, which we have done. The marketing blueprint has to be laid out in terms of the execution. So we most probably will launch this product in another uh, 6 months or so, 6 to 8 months if everything goes well. Yeah, yeah.
All right, sir.
Yes,
So,
China is one of our competitors in terms of,
yes, sir.
but slowly we see a lot of government support is also very much required, and we have seen that Chinese product have not stopped, but they have restricted the import of Chinese product, basically the chargers. So we see that as an opportunity to capitalize on that, the
Yes,
threat of China and Chinese product. Let me tell you, Chinese product work for 1 month, 2 months, and after that they're
true
gone.
that. The validity is not there, the guarantee
Not
of the
there.
product.
I'm
Yes,
sitting here. I'm in India. You can hold on to me. If the charges goes bad, I can give you replacement. Chinese product don't come with a replacement. We give chargers which are serviceable. So tomorrow your chargers don't work, come to me. We repair your charger. If it is not repairable, I exchange it. It's as simple as that.
yes.
Why to throw it on a bin?
Sir, then could you please tell us something more about the certification as you spoke about?
Yeah, so you need a lot of certification for an electronic product. First certification, what you need is a BIS, a Bureau of Indian Standard, and BIS a lot of category between them. I mean, within them, the subcategories, and you have to find out which category does your product fit in, and you have to go to that particular category of BIS and get it certified. Once the BIS certification is done, then you are good to go. Get a BIS logo on your product, and you're good to go in the market. First, that is what is mandatory to go to the market in India. When you go for overseas, there are a lot of other certifications like CE certification, UL certification, FCC certification. Japan has a different certification. So this is Europe and US. Japan has a different certification. China has different certification. So currently we are looking at India. We are making our design so compatible that they go ahead with other certifications also. Okay, but I think now that we are in a cash crunch, we cannot go with so much certification. Once the revenue starts building up, we make some money and then put it in certification wherein we can go overseas. So that's the plan about certification and going. We cannot scale at a rate which other companies do. We have to be really careful in that.
Yes, sir. So, what are your insights on how the market for such products will evolve in the coming years?
Can you please say it again? I lost you. Sorry.
Okay, sir. So, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, sir. So, I said, like, what are your insights on how the market for the products as such, like the gallium nitride, the chargers, will evolve in the coming years?
Yeah, it has a huge potential. It all depends on who comes first into the market and educate people about this technology because customers are quite smart these days. They get to know about technology like this, like YouTube and Google, and they find out everything about the technology. So it all depends on who gets the product first. When you are the second one, I don't think you just play on the price. It becomes a prize game, and there is no fun in playing prize game. You until unless you make a mark on your customer in terms of the product design and the product capability. There's no fun in doing price game. I am not quite a price game guy. I want to buy my product the worth it is for. Don't buy my product because it is cheaper than anything else. So it all depends on gallium nitride is the next big thing coming in power electronics. I have I know companies who are working on street lights on gallium nitride, which will shrink the size of the street lights to half of what they are right now, and it will have the same intensity of light, but it will be pretty small. And that is because of the gallium nitride technology. Let me tell you, everything is going to change in terms of power, and everything is going to be miniaturized going forward using gallium nitride because it is coming in a big way. And the next 5 years, you can think about gallium nitride is the next big thing in power electronics.
Yes, sir. It sounds so amazing. Sir, so what are your future inventions? Like, what are you planning to do in your future?
In my future, I would. Uh, when you talk about future, as in what, like 10 years, 20 years, or what?
Sir, in 10 years down the line, sir?
10 years down the line, I would definitely have the company, you know, be a decent brand established in India. And I would like to see that we are penetrating to the other Asian market. That's what the vision is. The vision is to replace all the chargers what people have with just one charger, and not have multiple chargers for everything, because I face a lot of problem with that. Taking out multiple chargers when you are in checking in into your flights before, during the security check, and you miss out on the charger, and go to your hotel and you don't find your charger, and then you're like, let me go buy a charger from a street vendor. I want people to just carry one charger, and it becomes a pretty essential item in your group of electronics around you. And I want to see that everyone has a MokkoMotto charger in their hands. And yeah, so that's what I see 10 years from now.
So it's a very innovative product. Actually, it's a very innovative idea. So are you planning to introduce some other special products as such? Like this is a
Yeah.
particular charger. Yes, sir. Some other product.
So yeah, other than the charger, we have certain ideas like our dream projects. The dream project will be increasing product portfolio. What we would like to also have in our product portfolio is power stations. Now, what are power stations? Let me tell you. These are micro inverters which has battery in it. You can carry power station in your car, and you can work with your laptop connected to the power station. It gives power to your laptop. Your phone can be charged. You go camping. When you go camping, you don't have power, right? Where do you get power? You don't have AC plug anywhere to put in, right? So it's camping. So I see a lot of people venturing out of their house and going to campings. They are going for trekkings. They're going to the Himalayas. Over there, you don't have, and you have to, carry your gadgets with you. How can you live without a music system or a stereo system or a music player or your smartwatch, your headphone? You need power. So we are trying to come into the power station space. So that's our dream project. We are still working on a very concept design of that. But we will be soon out with power stations as well. Very compact, easy to carry power station, but highly powerful.
It's so great to know that someone is actually working on such innovative things. So like you have got so much of experience and you are an entrepreneur as well. So, sir, would you like to tell something to our audience so that they can also, your experience and certain motivation quotes or anything to them so that they can also do something in their future for their
Yeah,
startups?
so yeah, I do not have very high funda suggestions. All I would tell them is try to find your inner calling, what you want to do in your life, and always follow your heart. And that is one of the thing very essential for you to make a difference in the society. Mind is always, wandering here and there, different, keeps on jumping here and there. You can tame that, but it's your heart which you should focus on a long term, and ask yourself whatever you're doing does it have any impact to the society? See, earning for myself, for my family is not everything in my life. I want to do something for everyone. For that was my way of thinking about everything. And people have to do their, but I would definitely tell everyone that think from your heart and not from your mind, and do things what your heart believes is good. And that will be, I think nothing will be more satisfying than that. Rather than understand, I mean, following instructions from everyone else and elder in the family will not actually keep you happy. All you have to do is how you can keep yourself happy so that you can give happiness to others. Until unless you are happy from inside, I cannot do any happiness to other, or so that's very important. Rest everything falls in place. Rest everything else in life falls in place. Just follow your heart, be happy, be satisfied of what you're doing. At least you are answerable to yourself tomorrow. Yeah, pretty simple. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us such motivation. I feel so much energetic now. There's someone to say that, okay, we should actually follow our heart.
Yeah.
Because sir, nowadays the thing is like the families, they don't really, support their children because they are mostly into ki ha beta engineer banega, beta doctor banega. Nobody actually asks them ki they never support them. So it's very good to take a stand for yourself and follow your happiness and be satisfied with it as well.
You do
So
pay a
sir,
price for that, let me tell you, a huge price.
yes sir.
But you should be ready to pay the price for the I mean, big sacrifices I have done, and I'm still doing. But that does not make me selfish. You say you are a selfish guy, अपने लिए काम कर रहा है यार, किसी के लिए सोच नहीं रहा है. It's not like that. It's not like that. I'm looking for a bigger picture. I'm looking for something sustainable. I'm looking for something, you know, something I can do for the close ones, but not presently. Yes, presently I'm just working to make things happen. But there are other aspects of life. I could just stop here and then I just go back to my corporate. But that's not what I'm not here to quit. And you should not quit. You should not quit. My father always asked me, yeah, you have done all this. He's not very much on support of what I'm doing. Let me tell you that. And he always asked me, what's your plan B? If tomorrow this does not happen, what's your plan B? I said, I don't
Backup
have a
plan.
plan B. My plan B is to make the plan A work. No, you gone crazy. What are you saying? I mean, how can both the plans be the same? I said, yeah, here it is the same. I don't have any answer for you. If I have a plan B, I will not give 100% to my plan A. If I always think that I have something on my back, I will not make this happen. And today, at this point of time, we have got two fundings from the government. Government has recognized our work, one from the central government, one from the state government. People are quite happy of what we are doing. I have their confidence, so I have to look up to them. I mean, I have to stand up to their expectation. They have put money on our company, and I cannot just let it go. I have to prove myself, and the company has to prove itself. So it is seen as a bigger picture. So a lot of other things will just fall in place. It's just a matter of time. So nothing is more valuable than your calling from your heart.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. So Prerna Lata has told that it's a very honest expression, as
Oh
mentioned in the
yeah, I
comment.
speak from the heart.
Yes, sir. All right, sir. So now I would like to hear from the audience. The audience, if you are having any questions, you can speak out, or you can put the message in the put your questions in the comment box. Please join my startup yatra.
If any hardware startups on in the meeting can ask me any questions regarding hardware, you can follow my LinkedIn profile. I keep on posting a lot of stuff on hardware startup because I know what I faced during my journey, and I don't want people to face that. And let me tell you, the government is with you if you are doing a hardware startup. Government is supporting, and you just have to prove yourself, prove them, and things will just fall in place. Don't have to worry about it.
I would
So
also like to request all the participants to please check the chat box. There will be a feedback form, and I mean the link for the feedback link will be there for the feedback form. The link for the same will be provided in the chat box. I would request all the participants to kindly fill the form. And yes, Akshara, you can continue with the question.
Hi.
thank you and sorry for interrupting. So I have the
That's
simple
okay.
question that there are so many electronic equipments available in the market of both high and low quality. So what is that plan that you have to convince the consumers that MokkoMotto is the way to go, or that is one thing that you should have?
Yeah, good question. See, first thing is you need to gain trust from the customer. Gaining trust from the customer leads you to get credible customers, and those customers will actually pay for your product. Paying for your product is a pretty big thing, and for that you need to do a lot of groundwork. And the groundworks in terms of what I told you. Now there are a lot of brands available. There's Xiaomi, there's Mi, there is Samsung, Apple. Apple took 7 years to come out with their product because they wanted to come with a product which is cohesive, in terms of the complete product portfolio, and that's how they took time. And those are bigger brands. They've already made a name. No one knows MokkoMotto. Okay, we have to do a lot of education. But as I told you, social media plays a very important role in educating people to know. Was first thing is make them aware that there's a problem. Some people don't even know that there's a problem. अरे चार्जर तो मेरे पास भी है यार, है, but कितने हैं? 5, 3, मैं एक दे रहा हूँ. आप उसको यूज करो. At the end of the day, let me tell you, when I packed up from Bangalore, my house came up with a bag full of chargers. I never knew that so many chargers were lying in my house, which was a waste. We never threw it in the garbage bin. Every charger went to a particular bag, a polythene bag, and it was full of charger. And I had to call up a kabadi wala and gave him the chargers. It was dispose this off. We never knew that, and it happens in our subconscious mind. We're so habitual of having so many charges. ये खराब हो गया, फेंक दो इसको. अरे फेंको कहाँ, खराब क्यों हुआ? You have paid for that. And we are so much into Chinese product, like use karo pheko, and Chinese have gone into our blood, let me tell you. Okay, so this is going to change, and this change is going to take time. Like how China took over us and making our habit so bad, we also have to get things back to normal, because this is not what is good, and this takes time. You have to be really patient in finding out customers who understand you. A lot of freebies in terms of education. Those education will build trust in them. You build a relationship, and that's how you make a sales. Sales is not very easy. Huh? I learned this in last 1 year. I never knew this.
Well, sir, it's like it will be pretty easy to convince our generation, because our generation is pretty much educated and they'll be able to understand and relate. Okay, this is actually okay, this is understandable. The charger is required, and the new technologies will be able to adapt it pretty soon. So,
Right.
what about the generation, like about our parents? Will they be able to adapt?
Yes, yes, yes. Good question. First thing is, we see what happens in a household. There are all generations of people stay in a household. Now, though, a lot of people have separated out. The older stay in cities, and the rural cities or urban cities, and then the younger ones go for employment to the urban cities. So what happens is, definitely the technology penetration takes time. It goes from the younger generation, because social media is quite predominant in younger generation. And then once the younger generation penetrates, I mean, this product or technology penetrates into the younger generation or to the younger generation market, that's how slowly it finds its way to the older generation. But let me tell you, in India, the biggest population is between 22 to 45, or maybe 55, something of that sort. We are the biggest younger generation population in the world. And this product is meant for this generation. And we want to play in this market. Definitely, I mean, I would not say that this product will not penetrate in the older generation. It will does, because anything will not stay constant. It keeps on changing and hopping, and that's how a niche technology becomes a mature technology. That's how, because it becomes acceptable to the masses, and that's how it becomes acceptable. So it is slow. It will take some time, but you have to make your 100% effort every day. I hope I answered that question.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any more questions from the audience?
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Hi, Sanskar.
Yeah. So, as you were talking about the sales part, and so what do you think? Who is your target market, and how do you find out it is a most part that you have to convince your customers? So, how do you convince them to buy your product?
Okay, okay. First thing is, there are different ways of convincing. First thing is, you make customer aware that they have a problem. Some customers don't even know there is a problem. As I told you, there are a lot of chargers lying in the house, and they still use 4 or 5 chargers because it is okay. It is in their habit. So you tell them, well, you need to change. This is building up a lot of e-waste, not good for the environment. A lot of animals and ecosystem has been going bad. Why don't you use this new product of ours? And I am quite sure, like people like a lot of D2C brands which have made to the market, like Boat, Noise, they have made their space, and people have tried out their products. So D2C has gone, people are looking for alternates right now. यार कुछ एक cool accessory मिल जाए मैं उसको use करूँ. It should look cool, huh? Let me tell you, we are making one of the coolest chargers possible. The design is one of the coolest, so that you look at the charger and say, boss, ये तो मेरे को चाहिए, ये मेरे kit में होना है. Even if I don't use it, I'll just keep it for showing off. So we are having a team of 5 people who are working only on the product design. Like, it is just not a box. It is not just a box where the electronics goes in. It has a lot of other things to it. You will get to know once the product is out. We are slowly trying to get out teasers of our product. We are making it so compact that I would tell you, Sanskar, that any of your charger will be always having this kind of 2 plugs coming out. I'll show you. Where's my, yeah? So this one, right? Why don't you fold this plug? When you fold this plug, this becomes like a cube, right? So the plug is not there, it's a cube, right? You can put it in your pocket, right? Why no one has thought about it? So it's simple things. Think about it, and you make a very tremendous, change in your product, which will be acceptable in the market. And then your education keeps on going, convincing people, making them aware of the technology, how this charger is different from other chargers, what you get. There's a lot of things which goes in convincing, and once that is done, then you strike a deal.
Yes, sir.
So hi sir.
Hi, Akash.
So sir, as you told about your team, there are 5 people in the project thing. So like sir, how much employees do you have for the total project, like all over the teams?
See, we are out of an ecosystem. Okay, we are building an ecosystem. Not I can also include my freelancers. Now, freelancers don't come in my payrolls. They are freelancers, and their freelancers have their own team, and we also have vendors, and they have their own team. So we are doing a lot of I would say collaborative work, so that it does not fall as an overhead to us. So I cannot keep a team of 20 people and keep on paying them salary, and tomorrow I am broken, product is not out. So there is very a very fine tuning way you have to get your company working with collaboration. Always look at collaboration. You have this objective to be met, and only when your vendors give you this objective, you pay him. I cannot be having team which every month I pay and they don't work. They are not object oriented. So that's a complete risk and suicidal. So we have ecosystem build. My in-house team would be 5 people. The 5 people are divided in terms of interns, freelancers, and permanent employees. And we have 3 directors who are working. And then we have the complete ecosystem of our vendors whom we work, on a case-to-case basis.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And another question. As you told about, like, you're gonna collaborate. So, like, collaborate in the sense, like, your product is not yet launched in the market. So, are you planning to directly launch in the market, or you are going through a particular company? For example, suppose you are collaborating with Samsung, so you'll be replacing the old Samsung chargers with your new chargers. So, are you planning to do that, or you're directly entering into the market with your own product?
Yeah, so we are having 2 strategies. One is B2B, and we are also looking at B2C. We are having both the tech. So basically, what is called as white labeling. Now, what is white labeling is I make chargers for Samsung, but Samsung's label will come into my charger, not my label. Okay, so we are looking at that model also. We are looking at taking out our branded product also into the market. uh, so yeah, but we are pretty careful of product market placement. Even if we are doing white labeling, we are seeing that where is he placing our product, because that plays a key role in terms of pricing the product as well. He should not be placing it in a very commoditized market, wherein the price might decrease a lot. So yeah, that's one of the thing. And yeah, so B2B and B2C is the market we are currently looking at both.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Any more questions from the audience?
I had a question for Subhendu. So we have been
Yeah,
hearing
Shishir.
about. Hi, Subhendu. Hey, all the very best to you. In fact,
Thank you. Thank you so
um,
much.
just had a question. We have been hearing about this chip shortage and these kind of semiconductor you know issues and so on. So where do you see this? I have heard about this whole technology for the first time.
Yeah.
Honestly, on this call today. So where do you see gallium nitride based technology going from that perspective? What is the
Like a
long what
supply
are
chain
long
issue
term?
perspective?
Sorry.
Supply chain issue perspective?
Yeah, supply chains and availability of the raw materials and all that. Where
Right.
do you see this whole
Right,
thing?
right. Very good question. Yeah, very good question. We are still struggling with supply chain, but we have a, um, I would say a counter for that as well. So at any given point of time, our lines will not go down. That is because we have made our electronic design in such a way that if one component is not available, we have a equivalent or three equivalent components in replacement to that, so that if one component is not available, we switch over to another component. If the second is not available, third component. So basically, we have three preferred suppliers for every component which goes into our design, and we make it so generic that all the three components can fit in into our design without compromising on the functionality of the product. So that is how we show our resilience towards supply chain issues. And that's how I think at any given point of time, if you want to order a MokkoMotto charger, you will not find it out of stock. And let me tell you, Amazon, if you make it out of stock, any of your product delists you from their vendor. So we cannot definitely have have such kind of a suicidal strategy for ourselves. So we have taken those steps right at the grassroots level of designing. So at any given point of time, our lines production line will never go down.
All
Nice
right.
question.
Okay.
Thank you for asking that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello. Uh,
Hi.
I think there was someone through cars. Okay. So thank you so much, sir. It was an immense pleasure for us that you joined our event and bestowed us by being the guest of honor. So your precious time was of great importance for us, and I would also like to thank all our partners. We are powered by Niti Aayog, the Early Birds Cafe, Atal Innovation Missions, ACIC, Beer Garage, Atal Incubation Center, Knowledge and Enabling Ideas. I would also like to thank all our team members and the participants who have made the event successful. And lastly, I would also like to request all the participants to kindly fill the feedback form. It's provided in the comment section. The link for the same is provided in the chat box.
Samya, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. So, hi Subhendu, this is Saket from Early Club. So,
Hi, Saika.
we are the partner of My Startup Yatra, and I'm also working as a strategic director for My Startup Yatra.
Oh,
So,
nice.
hello. Yeah. Hi from UK, right? I'm in UK, so yeah,
Which part of
kind of
UK?
the time is different. Yeah, kind of. So, I'm staying also over there, and we are
Which
settling
part of
our
UK?
business in Europe. We are in Scotland right now,
Okay, okay. Where in Scotland?
and we
Aberdeen?
are trying to set up our like the vast majority of business in terms of sustainability. If you can say that the market is different as developing country and the developed country, right? So they need a niche, and sustainability is like the booming part of right now. So as I say that you are working towards the future of our country. So I just have one question, and of course it's a business question, and it's a futuristic question also. Like as our prime minister has already planned for taking our EVs towards 30% of the
Hmm.
overall electrifications till 2030. So what's your intake on that? Are you making any like charger for using the same charger for EVs and can connect to other grids of houses, or any charger that can connect to other grids of governments? Something like, of course, the infrastructure is the important thing other than policies. So what are you thinking on that?
Yeah, so basically, we are definitely not into EVs currently. We are taking one step at a time. Though our technology is scalable until EVs, because I told you anything to do with power electronics and charging, gallium nitride is there. There will be definitely
Yes.
people. There are a lot of research going on. I know company in Aberdeen, Scotland, who is working on gallium nitride EV chargers, and they're pretty small, and it's amazing to look on those chargers. I had a look at it as well. We are, co-incubatees for the same incubator, the Hardware Academy, and yes, currently we are not. What I have to tell you about EV is it's a global move, not just India, and India has to prove their action points at G20 next time, because they have taken very aggressive stand on the climate change and things like that. So they have to make aggressive move on EVs and liquid hydrogen kind of
The blue
alternate
hydrogen.
fuel alternatives. Yes, I think government is doing good, and I think we have a lot of EV companies. And one of my, uh, I would say, very close friend of mine, they have a bike now, which is called the Roar. It's from the company name is uh, uh, I forgot the name of the company of her. The bike is called the Roar, and they both my friend and her husband are not from the engineering background, but then they still have taken out a EV bike, which is amazing to look at, and pretty good. I mean, a lot of people who are outside the this industry are also making their move into the EV market. So it is
Correct.
definitely prospering, and you can see a lot of uh, things changing in next few years to come.
Yes, yes. In fact, what happens? So we are also incubating and accelerating few companies in India also and abroad for their
Okay.
carbon trading and investings, and kind of we are also towards the green investment and sustainability. So the major part we can see there's a gap, like when you are working towards the charges, right? So it's kind of multi-charger. So whenever you try to connect the grid, the home grid or any other grids to the EVs, so there is a major change in the chargers, right? Because the charger are different, the charger capacity and everything is different. So if we can just cross these boundaries, like we can make any multi charger for this EVs, which can connectify with the grid of house grids or home grids or any other normal grids, it can make a vast difference. So I think that's a gap in the market, and it can be nullified. And I can see yourself, like, you can find any solution for that also.
Yeah, so when you talk about a grid is a distribution center of power. Basically, there is a
Yes, like
production
the
center
home
and there's a
grid and the
distribution
commercial
center.
grids are different, kind of. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. When you talk about a home grid or a domestic grid, that's when you are generating power and then distributing, or you're
Correct.
connecting to a commercial grid, or grid from the government or any other private organization. You're connecting to that. So basically, you get power from the solar and then you give it to the grid nearby. Uh, yeah, it's a completely different technology, I would say. It's high power. It is both AC and DC. Though we are also into DC and AC, but it's a complete different ball game together when you talk about certain kind of this kind of a system. And currently, we are not well equipped in terms of resources, in terms of our skills to go to that particular level. Currently, not. So we are kind of settled. We want to get our products first, make a success story in this, and then look for a little bit
100%.
higher, like what I told you, power
Yeah,
station is the
yeah.
next
Right.
step. We cannot be jumping to the Mars right away. It'll be
Hmm.
it'll be very
Correct, correct. In fact, if
very
you can
big
see that
risk.
we are also waiting for the smart grids to become up. So India is all already working on it. So it will take time. and eventually, of course, everyone will get that skills, and of course, we are also looking forward to that.
Which
And
part of Scotland are
nice
you
to talk
from?
to you. I am from India only. Like I was staying in Delhi, so
Okay.
of course,
No, you said you are
one.
from Scotland, so I thought which part of Scotland are you from?
Oh, right now, yeah, right now I have settled over Scotland in Glasgow. So
Glasgow.
yeah, I'll settle over there.
Okay. Okay. All right. Nice. Nice. Nice talking to you. Saikat?
Thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure, and it was amazing with you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much
man.
for
Thanks for having me here,
giving the
man.
time.
I think I had spent my people have given their time to listen to me, and I think the time was worth spending. I
Of
think
course, of course.
I could give my best. I mean, I didn't have to. When Arvind talked to me yesterday, I said, "What, man? We are just a small company. Why do you want to interview me?" So I said, "No, no, no. We just want you to just come over and you share your experience." I said, "Okay, fine. Then in that case." I mean, it's all experience. Then let me talk about my experience. It's quite interesting for people also to learn because I am also surprised with this kind of an experience which I have never had in my life. So
I
yeah,
think that's
that's
called
how.
an entrepreneur's life. Like there's nothing small or bigger because you have to eventually face the mass as they are
Yes,
facing. So yeah,
yes.
so
You should be ready for
each day
challenge
is
every
learning or
time.
something. Yeah, correct. So I would request you once again, if you get time, something you can just come over and be a part of other coffee break Saturdays and any other events. And of course, you are part of my startup yet now, and welcome you in aboard. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'm signing off. Thanks.
Yeah, Saima, any other questions from the audience, or are we good to pack up for something?
Yes, sir. I think we are good to pack up. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Most welcome. You're most welcome. And thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir.